Yo, what up? What up? What up? Your boy Bowie again. And I'm here to do a public service announcement regarding Mortal Kombat 1, but more importantly regarding its predecessor, MK11. And that service announcement is this. Y'all are not about to sit up here and slander MK11 in order to elevate MK1 or anything else. You understand? We are not about to sit here and pretend like this game Mortal Kombat 11 is just all things bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to stop. Y'all need to stop. You know, I will be the first to admit this game had a lot of flaws. Mad flaws, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? But to sit up here and pretend like this game was just terrible and stuff like that, stop. Just stop. You know what's terrible? A lot of y'all's game playing skills. That's what's terrible. Some of y'all was out here really being whack as fuck in this game and in all the Mortal Kombats, but then you have the nerve to slander MK11. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Because you don't know what a good Mortal Kombat is if it goddamn did a fatality on you, bruh. You wouldn't know what a good Mortal Kombat is if somebody came in and hit you right upside the head with the game box. So you need to stop. You need to stop. This game was quite flawed. And it was flawed in a myriad of ways. And I have gone through a whole lot of those ways in which this game was flawed, you dig? In numerous videos. However, there's one big area that this game did absolutely right. Aside from the graphics, aside from the intros, you know, the customization of the costumes and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Presentation, modes, online, you know. The way the story mode was done, the fact that we got a story DLC, you know, that kind of thing. Balance, you know. But the one huge thing in my estimation that this game did very right, that its predecessor, this game's predecessor, MKX, failed to do, was it really did tend to reward the better player. In Mortal Kombat X, you could have somebody that would literally just learn the combos with a character. They would, you know, learn the character's low starter, learn the character's overhead starter, and that's all you would need to win in that game. With punishing, neutral, spacing, you don't need any of that stuff because that game took care of that stuff for you. You had a run button, you had stupid ass jump-ins, you had traversing ass interactables that just leapt you across the screen for a resource that just came back on its own, stamina, you know what I mean? So if you couldn't actually get to your opponent the natural way, you know, from having good control and command of neutral, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You could just jump and everything was okay. You know? If you did something unsafe on block, who cares? You have a breaker and you could still do your overhead low combo. If you couldn't actually open people up by making them whiff or spacing them out or anti-airing them, who cares? You got the 50-50 that'll do it for you. And then with so many characters, you're safe on the 50-50, so it doesn't matter if they guess wrong or if you guess wrong. They just have to block your stuff and hope and pray that they can attack you out of it, you know? So many people in that game had those cushions. And then here's the other thing. That game also had armored launches. Or just armored moves in general. The original iteration of the game had armored launchers. And you would just get a combo on people with an armored move. 1 bar armored move, you know. And you could just combo start right out of their offense. And that was so degenerate. But, you know, did people care? Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole game was degenerate. So we weren't thinking about how stupid armored launchers were at the time, you know? But now, in the current iteration of MKX, you still have your armored moves. They don't launch for a bar anymore, but they don't need to. You can just, you know, it's just that when it's not your opponent's turn, it actually is their turn because they can just do an armored move on you and just steal their turn back, you know? So MKX had a lot of cushions for scrubby gameplay, from bad to mediocre to even decent players. They could get away with just completely ignoring a lot of the facets of fighting game fundamentals. And for all of MK11's flaws, you really can't do that. You gotta walk. You have to walk. Yes, jump-in kicking was very powerful. This is true. But characters did not have to die to jump-in kicks. Especially not in that mid-screen, you know. You could walk back. You could whiff punish. Many characters could straight up pluck somebody right out of the air if you got too predictable with your jumping. So all those MKX players that thought they were just going to do the same thing they did in the previous game and just jump in at people, they got a rude ass awakening when they try to jump in on Jade, jump in on Shao Kahn, jump in on Johnny Cage, jump in on Jax, jump in on Noob Saibot. Rude awakenings for them people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the very least, you're going to get uppercutted. But at the most, you're going to eat a whole combo. You know? And it's consistent, too. You know what I'm saying? Now, some characters still can jump in. You know, Devora, Cabal, Katana, they all say hello. Jackie, you know what I'm saying? But even those characters, there is counterplay. There is counterplay. You know, because I learned that if you pick a damn Melina versus a Cabal, though he can jump in on her, she's not going to make it easy for him. She has a really high projectile that plucks him out of the sky a lot. And in his desperation to get around that fireball, what she can do is bait him to leap. She can backdash and roll for a combo every time. And so what would have been free offense for him is now a guessing game. You know what I'm saying? It's a mind game. A game of reads and predictions and all that good stuff, which is what fighting games are supposed to be. Point is, this game doesn't have a whole bunch of the surefire cushions that MKX had. And therefore, if you were just better, if you put more time in, if you had better fundamentals than your opponent, you probably were going to win the match. And that's exactly what I experienced, because I had been on hiatus of playing this game. You know, I hadn't played in weeks and weeks and weeks, months even, you know. And, you know, I said, you know what? Let me play this goddamn game. And so, well, actually before that I played MKX, and I played that online, and I remembered why I stopped playing it. You know, I wasn't as mad about it, but the first character I fought was a damn Spectral Ermac. No, it wasn't. Was it Spectral or Mystic? I don't remember. But I fought an Ermac, and this Ermac would teleport on block. He would do he didn't have no concept of neutral, but he had his mix. He had his float into overhead attacks, and he would armor out of my stuff, and you know, it's like, oh my god. This match is everything that's wrong with this whole goddamn game. And I lost the first couple matches, but then I did beat him, you know, using superior fundamentals and a lot of luck in correctly guessing the 50-50s and, you know, appropriately countering his junk. You know what I'm saying? If that same person were to try to play MK11 like that, he would get mopped. You know what I'm saying? That nigga would get Swiffered. You understand what I'm saying? You're not able to play the game like that. Not for long. Because there's counterplay. And so, and that's probably one of the biggest things about this game, is that even though it has its flaws, one of the flaws is not that somehow you can't counterplay what your opponent is doing. You know, throughout the entire life cycle, no matter what kind of, the one character that had probably the least amount of counterplay was pre-patch Shiva with the stomps, right? You know, the one that didn't miss. But even she, you know, with the stomp, you could pick a Baraka with Spine Burst. You could pick a character with another teleport. You could pick Scorpion and try to counter her teleport with your own. Like, there were things that could be done. It wasn't consistent necessarily, but it was some form of counterplay. You could pick Raiden and do Storm Cell and be like, oh, you want to leap on me? Look, I got this Storm Cell waiting for your punk ass. You know what I'm saying? This, of course, was before she got nerfed to the ground, but hey, you know. So even at her strongest, you still had a means to counterplay. And it's the same thing now, even with a character like Jackie Briggs and her oppressive leaping and stuff like that. There are characters that really can give that style of gameplay a tougher time. Because even some of the most oppressive things in this game have some form of counterplay, which is another good thing about this game. So you needed to have neutral in order to do something. You know, the person with better fundamentals more often than not won the match. Unless the connection was just trash, then it was up in the air. But the person with better fundamentals won the match most of the time. But then also, everything that your opponent could possibly do had some kind of counterplay to it. Even the zoning. You know what I'm saying? So those of you out there that are pissing and moaning about Mortal Kombat 11, trying to pretend like it was one of the worst Mortal Kombats ever made and stuff like that, you need to stop. You need to stop being intellectually dishonest, because the vast majority of you don't play Mortal Kombat well to begin with. Let's get that clear. You don't play MK that well. You don't play fighting games that well. And look, I'm not trying to shame you. I'm not trying to, patronize you for not being good. I'm not even saying that I'm great or good. But I have a command of fundamentals, I tell you that. I try my best to adequately space myself out. I don't just let people jump at me for the most part. If I read that somebody's gonna possibly jump, that ass getting plucked out the sky. See, I tried to do it right there. I was too slow, but I tried it. You see? And it didn't matter because I had done most damage anyway, so yeah. And in this video, you're going to see me do quite a few anti-airs, including in this match. Shit, I tried to do it right there. The jab came out, but I was too slow with it. But I don't continue to be too slow with it. Look at that. Whiffing. Made that ass whiff. People be talking slander about Scorpion players. And it's like, shut up. That's a telltale sign of, somebody that ain't got no business complaining about Mortal Kombat 1. If you complain about Scorpion, if you think Scorpion, like just the whole character Scorpion is just an annoying ass fight in this game, you a scrub. I mean, I understand if it's like, oh my God, he's so common, I'm tired of seeing him. That's one thing. But you got people that legit complain about the Scorpion matchup in this game. Why? Scorpion's definitely unsafe on so much of his stuff. Ooh, see? Anti. Scorpion is not some offensive pressure machine. He is a mid-screen with Punisher. He's a mid-screen strike throw character that has some decent up-close tools that all have some form of counterplay to them. He has slow mids. He has a little bit of plus frames, but it's tricky for him to use the plus frames. You know what I'm saying? His pokes are pretty good. But there's nothing about Scorpion that he has that is just insanely oppressive. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got nothing that other characters don't have. Better. Except that damage. Did y'all see that juicy ass damage he just did? I did 40% off a punish with 1 bar. I love that about him. So all you got to do is play solid. But most Scorpion players, they don't play solid. They kind of risk their lives to do unnecessary things. And you'll see that later in the video. And you'll see what happens to them when they do unsafe things unnecessarily. They die. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're not even skilled enough to take advantage of that, you ain't skilled enough to talk shit about MK11 being bad. You're just not. You're not. Now, I understand if this game is not your cup of tea. I understand even if you think the pace of the game is too slow, which I don't fully agree with that. I think the pace of the game is fine. They could probably afford to speed up some of the animations, you know, but the pace of the game is fine. It's fine. Perfectly fine. Just like MK1. But yeah, like, you know, what I'm getting at is this. You know, you got people, and it's weird because as it pertains to MK1, you got two camps. Obviously, people that are like, oh my god, I can't wait, this is gonna be the next best thing since sliced bread, which I'm kind of in that camp, you know what I'm saying, because that game was promising as a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying. But then you also have people that are just out here slandering the game for mostly illegitimate reasons. What am I saying? Mostly. Entirely illegitimate reasons, I should say. So you have people doing both things, but what's interesting is folks in both camps will turn around and slander MK11 in order to do that. And it's like, first and foremost, your take on the past game is trash, and your take on your perspective on MK1 is also garbage. You know, as I alluded to in previous videos, you got people thinking that, or saying on camera with a straight face, that Mortal Kombat 1 is a clone of this game. Huh? What? No. You remember those mistakes I was talking about that this game made? MK1 reverses nearly all of them. The random fatal blows, regenerating meter, crushing blows, flawless block reversals, the whole wake-up system, the whole meter system, lack of combo creativity, variations. There's no more variations. Need I go on? Like, all the things that made MK11 pretty much got taken out for Mortal Kombat 1. Virtually everything. Everything. Not even the movement is similar, because in this game you can wave dash because you can cancel your dashes after block. You can't really do that in MK1, at least not in the stress test. Now, will we be able to do it later? It appears as though we will, because mad people have been complaining about the movement, but MK1 is a complete role reversal of MK11. From a gameplay perspective. Now, that doesn't mean that the two games don't look similar. Yeah, MK11 is a fantastically animated, graphically powered ass game. It looks great, phenomenal. And so MK1 will not, you know, not only match the graphics of this game, it's going to exceed them. Especially when you see the game in person playing at its native resolution. But it's not going to be leaps and bounds graphically over MK11, because MK11 looks the bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So What is this particular rant about? Well, again, we are not about to sit here and slander MK11. We are not about to sit here and sacrifice MK11 on the altar of bad MKs. Like, this game is not MKDC. This game is not Armageddon or Mortal Kombat 4/Gold. It's not. This game, like I said, though it made a lot of mistakes, it was ambitious. It allowed us a lot of customization, which it appears as though we're not going to get in Mortal Kombat 1. We got to create our own variations so that we can customize our favorite characters. We even got to name the variations. You know what I'm saying? And we got to give them, you know, some form of customized outfits. You know? This game did a lot of stuff right, but then, of course, the gameplay. In the matches, you have to play neutral. You have to control the neutral. You gotta play footsies. You gotta know spacing. You gotta have your anti-airs on point. You gotta have your flawless blocks on point. You gotta have your whiff punishing on point. This game will actually make you better at fighting games because of its emphasis on neutral. You cannot say that about MKX. You can't. MKX will not make you a better fighting game player overall. Now, there's certain things you can learn from MKX, sure. You can get real good at set play. You can get real good at being offensive and, you know, pressuring and mixing people up and stuff like that. So the offensive aspects of playing fighting games are greatly enhanced by a game like MKX, for sure. But all the other stuff, you know, the defense, you know, the stuff that wins games, you ain't gonna get no good at fighting games from playing MKX. But if you play this, and you really try to, you know, pay attention to where you're positioned and where your opponent's positioned on the screen, and learn how to effectively counter that, you could really get good. Matter of fact, I'll point it out. So I want you to notice I'm staying at match start distance with Scarlet because her normals are really long. And I picked her specifically to fight Joker because his normals are long, but hers are longer. Now, he wasn't using those normals very often. He just thought he was going to jump at me. So I just started walking. Scarlet has a terrific walk speed, particularly a real good backwards walking speed. So I made use of it. You see? Now that shouldn't have hit. That was some hitbox bullshit. But right now, I'm just applying that zoning pressure, you know, trying to bait him to come in and get me, and then making it difficult for him to do it. And my boy got so flustered by this. Very, very flustered. You'll see.
Round 2, fight.
So, walking back, he tried to jump in with a kick. I walk back, full combo punish. You ain't got to do nothing. You couldn't even do that in MKX. Barely. See, look. So flustered, the boy quit. All I did was play solid. That's all I did. I played fundamentally sound. I played the Tim Duncan style of Mortal Kombat, where it's just nothing but fundamentals. Look at that. I actually didn't want to do that string. And me using Scarlet to play this way is significant because Scarlet was considered one of the lowest tier characters in the game. She is considered a bottom 5 character by the best players in the world. So the fact that I'm able to do all this with Scarlet of all characters, that should tell you how important fundamentals are. Because Kung Lao is like twice the character that she is. But I'm about to win this match between the two of them. You dig? But the vast majority of you talking all this crazy shit about Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1 for that matter, y'all don't even play like this. Y'all couldn't get around this Scarlet of mine. You couldn't get around her. Look at that. Look at that. That's what would happen to you. Now, I ain't know old boy was going to do something stupid. But even this sequence is not something that will be permissible in Mortal Kombat 1, because the moment dude decides, oh, I'm going to do a fatal blow in the neutral, there's going to be a dramatic ass pause animation in which I can decide, oh, I'm going to block. Oh, I didn't know he was going to just do that. Block. And then he gets full combo punished. You know? But old boy is just out here playing reckless. Just diving in, doing stuff, you know. That's how a lot of y'all be doing. And I'm gonna say this too, while I'm talking about it. There are so many people that will slander MK11 for lacking creativity and, you know, not letting players express themselves through their character or whatever, or not being able to do crazy combos and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. Most of y'all don't want everybody to be able to do combos and crazy stuff. You really just want your character to do combos and crazy stuff. You say that you want every character to have their dirt, but here's the problem. We played MKX. When some other character's dirt was worse than your own, y'all motherfuckers went online and whined about it and got it nerfed. Because Tom Brady said it a long time. He characterized it perfectly. He said, I'ma do my mix, you gonna do your mix, and if your mix beats my mix, then your mix got to go. That is how he characterized y'all's attitude. And that's exactly the same thing. Oh my goodness. Bruh, hold up. I gotta run that back. Now look, I was losing this. And I said, he's gonna teleport. Watch this. Punish. Look at that. Look at that. Try that in MKX and see how that work out for you. You can know that Kung Lao's teleport's coming and still have a tough time blowing it up. I blew it up because they didn't make this teleport spammable, which I appreciate. I stopped this because I realized that I was showing the same video twice. But yeah, some of this footage was from days ago. Some of it was from earlier today. You know, all the stuff with the Scarlet versus the Kung Lao and these matches, all of this stuff is from today. And it's actually miraculous because before that, I was facing people that were doing one and dones, and, you know, if they didn't beat me, they would just leave after one match, or 2 matches, or possibly 3 matches at the most. And as you saw, so many people just straight up quit. And that's even crazier still. And again, to any of those people that are in that position, that's fine. You don't have to be good at the game. Nobody's forcing you to be good at the game. But if you're not good at the game, you don't get to sound off authoritatively about how bad MK11 is, or how bad MK1 is allegedly going to be, especially when the game ain't out. You don't get to talk. And I was on this YouTube channel of this person by the name of Fate. Fight all thy enemies. And I'll say his name because I ain't scared. I don't care. And that dude's whole grift seems to be, oh, I'm a slander Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna make a bunch of clickbaity title ass videos where I just slam every aspect of Mortal Kombat 1 for clicks, likes, and clout. That's his whole shtick, you know? Nowhere on his channel is there any bit of gameplay from him. We don't get to see him playing the classics. We don't get to see him playing any of the NRS titles, and I think that's for a reason. Because he knows that he don't really know how to play. But he feels compelled to make balance suggestions. Bitch, if you don't know frame data, you can't even ask for nothing, right? Put it like that. If you don't know what a B&B is, you are unqualified to ask questions or to make demands and have opinions and stuff like that. You know why? Because your opinion is uninformed. It is driven purely by feelings and anecdote. And those are the worst kind of opinions to have. That's the tier 1 of opinions. The better version of that is the informed opinion, you know, based on near expert knowledge, based on professional knowledge. And then, of course, the best opinion is an expert opinion, you know. And that's exactly what it sounds like. An opinion stemming from research and experience of a highly qualified professional that deals with exactly the field that they are opining on. So, for instance, if Sonic Fox or Ninja Killer has some sort of balance suggestion, that suggestion is based on his expert opinion. That doesn't mean that all experts will agree, because they don't, but most of them are going to wind up being on the same page because each of their expertise is going to lead them to conclude similar things because they have expertise. And the vast majority of y'all's opinions do not align with expert opinions like that. And you know it. I heard people sit here make the goofy ass suggestion that MK11 should have 1-bar breakers. That's super goofy. Super goofy. No. 3-bar breakers is one of the best design decisions that NRS has made in a long time, because what it means is committing to a combo break is going to be a huge deal, because you got to give up all your meter and use a cameo. Now you can regenerate some of that meter back, of course, but you're probably not going to have enough to do anything of note with. So that means breaking a combo is a very calculated risk, instead of just something that you do just because you got 2 bars. If you don't understand that, you don't need to be making YouTube videos about Mortal Kombat at all. And I'm not talking for the tube. I mean that for real. I mean, if I meet a scrubby motherfucker in real life and we have the discussion, I'll tell you to your face, you don't need to be making no videos about the game because you don't know how to play. Your gameplay is ass or non-existent, you know? Now, does that mean that you got to be perfect in order to be able to say something? Of course not. I'm not. I ain't perfect. But I bet you that I have a solid grasp of footsies. I have a solid fundamental grasp of baiting, spacing, with punishing, all that good stuff. I play competently, and my competent gameplay plus years of experience, decades of experience at this point, give me the gravitas to say something authoritatively about Mortal Kombat. It also gives me the ability to smell out bullshit from people that don't know what they doing, don't know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? So to those of you out there that you've been watching or you've seen the thumbnail videos of people slandering Mortal Kombat 1 or slandering Mortal Kombat 11, do not believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't waste your time watching them videos, man. Real talk. Because you're not about to learn nothing substantial. You're really not. By me ranting on videos like this, not only do you get to hear from someone that knows what they're talking about, you can see that I know what I'm talking about. This is my gameplay here. You can see that I'm not just talking out my ass. So, based on that, I will tell you, Mortal Kombat 1 looks absolutely spectacular. Tantalizing, even. It looks like exactly the kind of Mortal Kombat most of us have been waiting for. in terms of the fun that there is to be had and the replay value and everything. It looks like it's gonna be amazing, right? But even having said that, this game still has a lot to offer, and it can still be very, very fun. You know, this game will give your ass great fundamentals if you let it.
Round 2, fight.
And so, instead of people slandering Mortal Kombat 11, instead what they ought to be doing is really like learning how to play it. That way they can prepare for Mortal Kombat 1. They also need to go back and play MK9 so that they can prepare for Mortal Kombat 1. But listen, that's just one man's ramblings, man. Just trying to get y'all to think a little bit, you dig? But with that being said, I'll catch y'all later. 1.